Alright guys, so in this episode we are going to be building the rooms page. So if I go to the finished project, this is how the room page is, and basically we're just adding some buttons in order for us to filter between each category on this room page. So I'll go back to our project, and currently we don't have the page set up. If I click on rooms now, I think it's going to show a 404 not found. So what we'll do now is to go to our pages directory and create a new file called rooms.astro. So I'll bring in the code fence. Then I will be importing some things. First of all, I'll import the image tag, or the image components rather, from Astro assets. I'll also import the room image, which is going to be this background image. So say go up to level, then on the assets folder we'll see room image or jpg. So let's also bring the layout. So this should be self-closing. Let's also import it as well. Then we'll say the title should be, can you say rooms page, or we'll just leave it at rooms. Then inside this we'll have a div with a class of relative and a z-index of 40. Inside this we'll also have another div, and this div will be responsible for the overlay. So this one is going to be absolute top, b0 left, b0 height will be full, width will be full, bg will be black, and we'll add an opacity of 80. Then outside this, bring in another div, and this one is going to have class of container flex, set to flex call, items will be start, and justify will be center. And let's also give it a height of like 60 vh. Then inside this div we'll bring in another div again, and this one is going to be z-index of 40, a max width of 700. So this suggestion is quite right. And now just hit enter, and inside this div we're passing the h2 like so. I'll say rooms, and for the class we'll set this to text of 600, font should be 700. Then on medium devices and up, let's just say text should be 800. Then on larger devices text should be 900. Then we'll add the margin bottom of 1, and let me just bring this here, and let's also add a line height of like 1.2. So let's save, and let's see what we have so far. So if I refresh the page again, we should get something this time. Yeah, so we can now see the rooms here. So the other thing we need to do right now is to come underneath this div and add the image tag. I keep calling it image tag, image component. Then the class will be, first of all, I think let's add the source. So the source will be the room image I've added. Then for the class, I think we're good to go with this. We just need to set the object to cover, and also give it an alt of room image. So get rid of this TypeScript error. Okay, so I believe this is an issue that normally occurs every time. So what we just do is to um, stop the terminal and see npm run dev again. So now close it back, and it's automatically going to refresh. And let me still refresh this part. So as you can see now, the text is coming in. I don't know if it's my project or is an Astro issue, but the rooms is coming in as we want, like this one right here. I think the only difference is that the image looks kind of small while it looks zoomed in here. So we have to go back to the image tag again. Okay, this should be cover, not contain. So if we check now, yeah, so it's similar to this one. All right, cool. So we'll go back to our project, and underneath this div, so outside this one, bring in a new div again, and this we have a class of container, padding top will be 20. Inside of this, bring in another div again, and this one we have yeah, MB of 8, and text should be center. And inside the div we have an h2. The class will be text 400, then the font weight will be 600. Then on medium devices and up, the text will be, and let's just push it to 600, and the content will be rooms and suits, I guess. Then for the p tag, I think we just have to copy it from the original one. So we just copy it from here, paste it like so. All right, so let's see, should show here. All right, cool. So the next thing we want to do is to add this part, to add this section. And as you can see, it requires client-side interactivity, which means we'll have to use a React component here. So I will quickly create a new component inside it, and I'll call it room container.j. I'm saying JSS, TSS rather. Now you'll say REFCE. So I will let me just import it. So underneath this one, I'll just say room container. So I'm trying to import it, but I'm getting no suggestions. So what I'll just do is I'll just say the client first to load. So I will now go back to the top and manually import it myself. So I'll say import room container from components / room container. So the error is gone now. So if I save, I can go back and we should see the room container somewhere here. Cool. All right, so the next thing I want to do is to query our rooms document and get a room, and we only want to get the room that's available. Remember that, I don't know if this has loaded fully. Okay, still loading. All right, so if I click on the room and let me select any of the room, and if I scroll down, you will see this field that shows available for booking. So we want to check for that. So I will just come here and say, let's just do it right here. I will say const rooms, and this should just be from the rooms type. So the rooms type that Astro generated for us. So I'll see if I can import that. So we'll just import it. Then we'll await. I'm sure you already know the drill by now. So we say Sanity client to fetch like so, and use backticks, or rather, and we say I've not imported this, so let me quickly import this one. So now we can say asterisk, then underscore type. I'm so tempted to just hit tab on this. You know what, let's just hit tab because we've already done this countless times by now. So basically we're just querying the room document and only getting the room that is available. Then for the fields that were actually that we want the slug, the name, description, category, image. I think these are what we just need. If we need any other thing, we'll pass it across. Then since we have this, we also want to query for the categories as well. So I will just copy this one like so. Then I'll paste it here. And I'll change this one to categories and get rid of this one. This one should just be like a string, an array of string. And for this now, we'll get rid of everything here and just say available dot category. So if I just console the log the categories like so, I'm passing a category, and if I check our terminal now, just give this a minute, it should show. So we can see the categories that are showing, but they are kind of repeating themselves. I can see we are seeing the logs 3 times, logs 3 times. So what we want to do is we want to get unique categories, so we don't want to get duplicates. So to do that in JavaScript, we'll just say const unique categories. That's better, right? Then we use square bracket and we spread over the categories and just get new sets of categories. So this will just get rid of the duplicate. So if I pass in the unique categories here now, so I'll say unique categories and save now. Let's go down. So you can see now the categories now is luxury suit, deluxe suit, and executive suit, which is what we need. If we add another category, it's just going to show you automatically. So I can get rid of this now, and we'll just pass all these variables as props to our room container. So I will say the initial rooms. So initial rooms should be the rooms, then the categories should be the unique categories. So we'll save this, and we're obviously going to get an error, which is expected because I think it's saying the word is misspelled. Did we do something wrong? Okay, this should be initial. I spelled it wrong. So let's see now. Okay, this should be the error that we should be getting. So I can save this now. I remember that we've created the room container already. So this is it right here. So inside the room container, first of all, we're going to just create an interface and we'll call this one room container props. so that we'll just accept this right here so that we don't get errors anymore. So the categories will be array of string, just like we said. Then the initial room, so initial rooms will be the room array like so. So remember, this will be from Sanity types. So right here we can just destructure it like so. So if we say room container props, we can accept the category, and this should be categories since it's an array. So categories and initial rooms. So if we save now and go back, I think it should get rid of this error now. Yeah, so the error is gone. So we can come here now, and what we want to do, we just want to be able to select and filter through each of these category. So what we'll do is that I don't know if I should just write the JSX for this first before adding the logic. You know what, let me just do that. So I will just get rid of this, and for this part, instead of writing it all out, I'll just break it into its own component. So I'll just call it filter rooms.tsx. So you can choose to still leave it if you decide that you want to take the code here and put everything on this file. It's totally fine. So I will save it, and right here I'll import it and say filter rooms like so. So let me see if we can import it here. I can, and we'll be passing some data right here as props, but for now we'll leave it like so. Then underneath this we just say div like so, and this will be class name. Remember that we're on TXS component, so we say medium devices and up should be grid, medium devices and up, again grid calls should be 2, medium devices and up, add a gap of 8, and large devices and up, set the grid calls to 3. All right, so we want to be able to now toggle between each of the categories. So in order for us to do that, we need a state called let's call it selected category, and set selected category, and we'll just set this to use state, and let's just set it an empty string for now. And on the finished project, so for those that have purchased the project, I want to really appreciate you guys again. But if you purchase the project and you are still following up with the series, there's a little mistake that I made. So if you look at the code very well on your own end, you would see that I passed in the initial rooms directly, but this is really not the right way to go, because this will only work when the component mounts and it's only render once. So if the initial room changes, it's not going to sync with the filter rooms. So basically this will now be a stale data, and we don't want that, except you know that this rooms is not going to change, which will likely not be the case because you might add more rooms. So this is not really a good approach. It's going to work, like I said, it's going to work very well, but it's just not really a good approach. So the way to go about it is I'll get rid of this, and this will be an empty string, and I think it's going to be of type string by default. Yeah, but let's just add this, say string, then we'll set this to all like so. So we'll be using a derived state, and we just want a single source of truth so that the filter rooms are always computed from the current props, which is this initial one. So if it doesn't change, it's going to stay like that. But if it changes, it's going to actually re-render, and we'll be using use memo for that, because basically I just defined what use memo is. It's basically a memoization hook that catches the result of a computation, and it only recalculates it when the dependencies change. So to do that, we'll create a new state called filtered. Let's say filtered rooms. I will say use memo, like so, and I'll just accept this. Then I will say, okay, Windsurf is just guessing what's on my mind. So basically, let me just type this out still. So we'll say if selected category is equals to all, we want to return the initial room, else we want to, I think I've messed this up. So we say return initial rooms dot filter. I want to filter the room category. So we say room dot category is equals to the selected category. And this memoization hook is just like use effect, so we need to pass in some values here. So we say initial rooms and selected category. All right, so I can save this now, bring it like so. And now for the function that will pass into our filter component in order for us to change each of these categories. So I'll create a new function called handle filter change, and this will accept a category which will be of type string, and we don't know what the category is until it's been selected, so we just pass it as an argument right here, or rather as a parameter. We're passing it as an argument from the filter rooms. All right, cool. So first of all, let's just render out the filtered room. So we just say filtered rooms if it's greater than 0. So if there's actually a room, then we want to do something else. We also want to do something. So for the other case, let's just say for the class name, I think this is not giving me what I want. I don't know why it starts. So let me just tap this first of all. You know what, let me try and add a value here. So let me just pass in the I'll say here should be the filtered rooms.map. I'll map over each of the room and we'll return the room listing. So say room listing, then the key will be room.slug the current, like so. Then the room will be the room. I think this is fixed now, so we can just say passing the div with a class name and say text should be center, add a py of 8, so top and bottom. Then let's just do a cool span, set it to 4, and for the text no rooms found in this category. All right, so I believe that's for that. And again, this should be self-closing like so. I know, let's just bring this back to a p tag. Let's just use a p tag, and I think this should be like so. Yeah, so we can get rid of this one. So if we save now, I think we should see and go back again, we should see all the rooms right here. Nice. So we are seeing all the rooms, but we can't filter the rooms. So we need to go to our filter rooms. But before then, let's pass all the values that we need. So we need the categories, and again, I will just tap through all this because we need the categories, the selected category, and this function to toggle between each of the category. So I will save this and I'll go back to the filter rooms, and for this we say interface should be filter room props, and the categories will be an array of string, the selected category be a string, then lastly the unfiltered change, I believe that's what we'll call it. Let me check again. Yeah, filter change will then be a function, but passing the category like this, and it will be void. So just give this a minute, the error should go away. So right now we can come here and destructure it. So we can say from the filter room props, we'll take the categories, the selected categories, and the unfiltered change, like so. Then right here, let me give this a margin top of, or rather margin bottom of 8. Then inside this, we'll create a new div again, and this will have a class of flex. We just set it to flex wrap for the button so that they can wrap underneath each other on mobile. Then justify content should be center and wide the gap of 4. Then inside this div, we'll bring in the button, like so, from cn. And this button is not self-closing, sorry about that. It's going to have like actual closing div, like so, and this will be the all one. And inside it, let's just start with the class name first. We'll use backticks. So we'll say the rounded should be medium, add the px of 4, py should be 2. Let's set the transition to, I think there's colors, yeah. Then we'll use the $sign now, and we'll say if the selected category is equals to the all, then we want the background color to be primary, and the text should be white. Else we want the background to be muted, then the text should be foreground, and on over the background should be transparent, like so. Then this is just for the all button. So if we go back, we can see it like so. Nice. Then for the other categories, we just need to map over each of them and do basically the same thing. So I think I will copy this like so, but this time I will just say I'm not going to type this, I just want to type it out. So say categories dot map, and we'll map over each category. And let's say I'll paste in the button I created. So I'll save it. But remember, since this is a React component, we need an index. So the key here will be the index. Then on click, so once the user clicks on it, we want to now pass in this function right here, which will then accept whatever category as an argument that is being selected. So right here, we'll just set this to the category. All right, so we can save now, and if we go back, we should see each of the category. But this time now, we'll just set this to whatever category that has been selected. So this will be category, so that everything should be active. Nice. So if we select the deluxe suits, we're going to get the same thing, all the deluxe suits. If we select the luxury room, same. Executive suit, the same. Then if we select all now don't seem to work because I am guessing that this on click. Okay, so I know what the issue is now. So we need to pass the on click here. Then this time we just say this should be all. So let's try it one more time. So this will be deluxe suit, luxury suit, then all we render everything. All right. Then let's just add a capitalize right here, like so. Then for this hyphen, you can choose to create like an helper function to get rid of this hyphen. I'm not going to do that, but you can do that. The reason why it's not showing here is because on the project, so if I go to the rooms schema, on the finished one, I got rid of the hyphen. So you can choose to just get rid of it here as well. That's totally up to you. But like I said, you can create like an helper function to help you format this using, I think it's replace method. So it's fairly easy to do. You can even throw it to ChatGPT. It's going to help you fix that. All right, guys. So that's it for this episode. In the next episode, I think we just have 2 more episodes to go, which is creating the account page and actually deploying this project.